hoping that EDG give us a little bit more, but more importantly, I just want to be selfish and say I want a game number 3, but let's talk about this pick ban. EDG on the blue side, we just mentioned that Lee Sin still not banned away, things like Set, Silas. Great picks for Scout, but also for Knight. Makes sense that Silas has been a consistent ban through the first phase in Game 1 and Game 2.
Yeah, that's, I feel like Silas is being banned on blue side because Silas is definitely not a first pick worthy champion over things like the Lee Sin. And at the same time, right, if you get it on red, you can pick it on 3 and then ban away some of the harder matchups. So both teams blue side respecting the enemy mid laner and what he provides. And EDG this time around going to get their hands on the Nocturne that we talked about. Top Esports actually not thinking it's that big of a problem. But I still like this trade for TS, right? Because with you banning out the Gwen and not banning out the Lee Sin, you get a prio pick for yourself.
And it might just be that Lee Sin Diana combo again, that Yagao and Kanavi showed us so well, that in the last game, Qingtian and Kasa worked so well together on. I mean, rinse and repeat, why not? There was nothing broken about it. It's what pulled you, well, nothing broken in the bad way. It's what pulled you to a Game 1 win.
And surprisingly, we see the Volibear coming out, so instantly wanting to get away from the Rumble pick and going instead in a more early game skirmishing route with the Volibear coming out. We know very potent duelist early on. We've seen, especially with LeBlanc, these two champions surprisingly out of nowhere becoming like highly contested picks in numerous series looking for wins. They have a ton of access to the backline of whatever TES does decide to draft. And Top Esports are like, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I feel like running it back is going to be all we're going to talk about. Let's see if EDG want to ban Diaphelios, a really good partnership that we've seen with the Thresh in game number 1. Top Esports banning AD carries of their own. Viper great on this Kalista. But remember, things like the Varus lyric, still available.
And that's the big thing, right? So we hit on it in game 1 draft, but sure, EDG, you can ban away AD carries, but Aphelios, Jinx, Kog'Maw, and Draven, because apparently from game 1 we learned they don't want to deal with Jackalop's Draven. The other thing is, sure, I feel like any AD carry Jackalop picks is going to be under threat because you now not only have a Volibear in the composition, which is going to wanting to run in, but also a Nocturne, something that can at any time get on Jackalop if he chooses. So Jackalop definitely going to be feeling a lot more threat this time around, but still, Top Esports, top side of the map, were the big playmakers in that last game, and if they have the same performance, I don't know if that will matter as much. But I like that EDG are indexing into more of this brawly, skirmishy comp that wants to get on top of the backline.
Even like the Varus here that can close the gap and lock them down. I mean, you already mentioned 80 carry picks. There's so many available for Top Esports bottom lane. So, excuse me, Jackie Love. Looking at the Jinx for now, something we did talk about. It means that there is the counter pick for Knight here on the red side draft, and he's going up against the LeBlanc, so I can't wait to see what's picked up as they did ban it away. Jackie loves Draven, baby. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps remembering that 2019 IG final.
And I'll be honest, there really isn't anything that can go toe-to-toe with him in the laning phase. You can try and pick something to just play far back, like right now they have the Ezreal hovered. I think the Ezreal would be the expected pickup. Even things that can try to survive laning phase, old school picks like the Ashe, we can spam volley, look for the all-in at level 6, not viable right now. So instead, EDG are saying, hey, maybe we can't get the better AD carry matchup, but we are going to get a strong support matchup. We are going to be able to consistently look to push in, to poke you down, try and get you low to look for all-ins, or bring JJ down. Very fragile bot lane when you do draft an Enchanter support, so you would expect JJ to look for this. And a bit of a special coming out from Qingtian. We're going to get Knight on the Lee Sin. I do believe this is his first game on Lee Sin. Yes, it is. And now the Mundo up in topside. So once again, a lot of playmaking coming out from TS. This composition is a lot more reliant on Jackalop from the fact that he picked a Draven. We need to see more coming out from him and more, I'd say, prio from TS overall put onto him, because last game, TS actively chose to try to counter gang top, get Qingtian back in the game, and look for that route. This time, going to be a lot more about the bottom lane. For EDG, it's all about diving into the back line with their top side. They do have a ton of poke. They do still have a ton of long-range damage like they did last time around, but if they can burst out Jackie Love, you are only dealing with the burst from Diana from TES.
But Lyric, are you ready for the stat that is going to keep me interested going into this one? It's JJ's Volibear. He's played it 4 times. It's going to be his 5th time. He's 4-0 on the champion, as you expect of a team that doesn't drop games. He has a 44 KDA on his jungle Volibear. So get ready, because JJ is going to be someone we talk about here alongside that dive you already mentioned. Nocturne, LeBlanc, access to the backline to see if Jackie Love can survive. And I just love here, Lyric, that solo lanes are something we talk about with, you know, momentum with LeBlanc Nocturne, right? Getting those ultimates off, and especially the Nocturne. And looking at the bot for top esports, very different lanes and a very different game plan for each is what we want to see in this changing grass for the second game.
Exactly, and like you said, definitely going to keep my eye on that Volibear. JJ going to be the one to start off a lot of this action coming out from EDG, going with that standard press the attack room. So we know early action is coming out for EDG. I want to see them, even if you don't gank or play through your bot lane, get some vision down for your bot lane, let them poke out, try to find out what Karsa's doing, shut him down early. Don't let the level 6 Diana come in strong and play around that Draven to set him up.
Okay, I like it. Don't let Karsa have his time in the sun. Too much farming, too much, I guess, flexibility for Karsa where he could go wherever he wanted as well once he got to that point. And we'll watch the jungle pass once again. Defensive warding here to start the game off from Top Esports into River, just to make sure that JJ's not making any funny business. I also want to point out, Lyric, that Karma Ezreal in the bottom lane, just as a side note, you already talked about the poke, but I love this lane, especially when you can kite back and punish someone like the Draven with his axe placement. You know you can Mantra Q for the Karma, Ezreal as well. You can actually get some damage off, so if Jackie Love and Draw miss a death sentence, or Jackie Love, you know, misses E as well, there is a potential punish for Viper and Mako. I feel like I've been saying that about all these lanes, right? We do have some volatile lanes, especially towards mid too.
Yeah, exactly. Mid, definitely going to be a little bit volatile. We do know Scout is going to be able to look for these trades early on, but Lee Sin actually pretty decent in this matchup, in my opinion, coming out with the safeguard because LeBlanc not outputting too much damage, and when she does, it's very telegraphed, right? The distortion is telegraphed, the chain is telegraphed. It allows you to get off that safeguard to be able to eat some of that damage. Then the Iron Spike whip power spike is something we've talked about a lot of. That's when you get to a point where you can kind of even just ignore the LeBlanc in a lot of these trades. So Knight going to be fine. Another thing to talk about is the Draven matchup, because the fact that Draven is an AD carry who can go for lifesteal early on, I think makes him better against poke lanes than a lot of other champions will be. Sure, in the first few levels, before your first back comes out, it will be quite annoying, but later on, you know, a Q coming out from Karma or Ezreal is something you'll be able to heal back up very easily.
Very true. We'll see for that Vampire Acceptor. Karsa, though, making an appearance nice and early. Arcane shift away from Viper. He gets out, but Draw commits the flash. Mako burns his own. And it was the flash flay that threatened the existence of the EDG support.
And Karsa trying to change it up a little bit by looking for this play on bot side, just 3 camps on bot into a bot side gank. I do feel like the flash from Mako is more crucial because we talked about the fragility of a bot lane like this. It is easier to look for that punish later on because you know they're going to be pushing. You know Mako will be pushing down to that lane. You can go back later to look for another gank. Karsa now back to his top side camps. You expect for JJ to just go for that bot side scuttle. Honestly, JJ might even be able to try to path through mid and just look for the double scuttle opportunity from the fact that Flandre is pushing as well.
Yeah, I mean, Flandre just beating Xingtian up against the wave. Where's he going, though? He's going straight towards the bottom lane. So Karsa's on the Scuttle Crab. Looks like a good read here from the jungler as he clears up towards his topside camps for now, even with Knight getting pushed in by Scout.
I mean, it's just from the fact that JJ just chose to do a full clear, right? Went for his Krugs instead of looking for a scuttle. Could have had Flandre hover over earlier because, as you can see on the minimap, Flandre actually did just hover over right after Karsa completed it, so just slightly missing out on the timing. So it did look like EDG hoped to prevent him from going for that, but still, Karsa was able to get it, is still going to be able to get all of his camps, even if he's behind in tempo because he looked for that bot side game.
But let's also remember that for someone like Karsa, it might not matter. He had a very efficient clear in game number 1, too. And JJ spent a lot of time trying to hover around these lanes. But you're right, so far so good. Small CS lead, even the back here with Sheen for JJ. So the Divine Sunder of Volibear, as we've been seeing, will be coming out. And actually, bottom lane's doing okay for now. You know, Mako's pushing in, Viper as well on the Ezreal. But as the Arcane shifts forward, that's dangerous. That's not good at all. Running low on mana means Ignite on top of Mako, but the turn onto Draw gets healed up, but Jackie Love is low on mana, can't get a second Spinning Axe, and Viper's just autoing him down. Lyric, it's Ezreal versus a Draven.
Yeah, I mean, but still, right? They have the poke support. They were already whittling them down early on. They weren't able to find the all-in. They thought they got Mako, but that just leaves Viper in a position where he's able to output free autos. This not only chunks them low, but brings Karsa down into the fray.
Yes, it does. And now he's got the damage on top of Mako. TP as well with the ward going down. Healed up with the Mantra W. Mako so smart, flashes away as well. But coming in is Knight, gets the first blood on top of the Karma. Lucky to get away is Viper after burning his flash, but it all works out in the end.
Top Esports get the kill, but they invested a lot into that play, and at least as of yet, not wanting to back off. So Knight actually just being a true bro, helping clear out that wave, helping them all get faster resets. EDG not able to find anything off of this. Still, it is going to give a window to where Knight's going to lose CS in the mid lane, but the fact you are picking up this kill feels quite nice. So we see the play coming in, Karsa looking for the flash, followed up by the E. Is going to get some decent damage down, but then the W coming out from Mako trying to buy some time. Kill still comes out, especially with Knight following in. So Top Esports get the kill. They lose some CS in mid lane. They're going to end up losing the Dragon. And you hit on how last game, right, we saw JJ looking for a lot of ganks, wasn't able to find those opportunities. When you're in a game like this, and you have winning lanes, you have the prio, and you can't punish enemy laners, your next step is to move into the enemy jungle, get vision down, and look to punish the enemy jungler. There's a lot of opportunities to do that early on when you're facing a Diana. We haven't seen JJ look for that. He has hovered around certain lanes, but it's pretty much just been full-on clearing for the side of EDG.
It's always the fear, right? When we saw in game number 1, Caster got a pretty comfortable clear and was able to maintain tempo, even beat out JJ, if we're talking about tempo advantage. And it was just such a big game 1 for him on this Diana. Yet again, he gets an assist. He has double amplifying tome. Up towards the top side now for Krugs. Flandre is able to push in the wave. It looks like he will be setting up the scuttle. Not for his jungler, but for himself. And Flandre doing okay in this matchup as well. But Caster's going to use the time to sneak in, and he hits 6 off of the wave.
Yeah, very, very key point there that he does hit 6 still. Flandre being very respectful, and you mentioned him getting the scuttle, right? It's not only about him getting it for himself, but he's denying it from Karsa, knowing that Karsa does have that pushing wave in top, and the fact that EDG are playing around counter jungling in bot side. So at least they are utilizing the concept that we just talked about a little bit. Sure, they might not be finding any kills, they might not be able to get any vision down because the wards aren't there just yet, but they are able to take something away from Karsa.
And Knight doesn't have flash, so they might get something more. Kicked away, Jeje avoids it, flashes on in, tumbles down, and Knight gets sky splitted to death. First kill for EDG, and a good response from the EDG jungler.
Yeah, a bit disrespectful from Knight on that one, knowing that he didn't have the flash up and knowing that, you know, JJ should be on the bottom half of the map, able to answer for this play. TS, though, still in full force trying to play around the spot side.
Yep.
Nothing that's too unexpected when you do have a Draven on the Rift, and right, we even look up towards top. There's a Dr. Mundo. They aren't going to be playing to set up Xingtian. He's going to absorb pressure. He is falling behind in CS, which isn't too weird. Flandre will just be able to consistently push him in with that passive, as we've just seen. Xingtian's just going to try and be an annoyance later on in the game, especially being able to absorb a lot of cooldowns from players like Scout and Flandre, who aren't going to be outputting a ton of DPS as the fight goes on.
But I'd really like to see some healing reduction in this game, Lyric, because, okay, we're going to see a Paranoia. Flandre's jumping back on. Maximum dosage used, but Flandre can DPS him down, especially with Conqueror, but Turret is a safety net here for Xingtian. And now with no mana, not sure if he can follow it up. Look for the Heart Zapper, the bit more healing to come through. JJ also spotted out by a ward, so nothing more will happen up in the top lane. As Herald gets done here, Lyric, I just want to remind you again, Executioner's calling. Let's see it from a couple of people at least, because Mundo, Lee Sin, Draven, especially with the healing you talked about, there's a lot for top esports to sustain.
Yeah, and I like that they're going for this. So this was happening. They had the ability to move.
Straight onto JJ, forcing him away. Remember, it's all about the smite here, and it's secured by Caster. Xingtian running in, and now melee time with the Stormbringer over the wall. Caster follows up Crescent Strike, a bit short though. And JJ manages to survive, but the Herald steal away from Caster. That's just nice.
I don't know if it was exactly a steal, right? Felt like more like Karsa went to the fine, high dining EDG restaurant, and just JJ was a very gracious server who gave him more than he asked for.
Oh, okay, but Bluma on the bottom lane. The Dark Passage taken here by Jackie and Dwarf into the 2v2. Viper now hitting behind, but it's a Draven who cashes in on the Adoration. Heals up against Viper. One more, but he can't get it. The Mystic Shot was close. He dodges it, but the auto attack reigns true. Viper's come down to try and kill Dwarf. Even he burns the flash. And meanwhile, in the mid lane, Karsa wants a bit more action on the Rift, but Lyric, I don't know if that's worth. You get yourself an adoration stack, and that's what you want as the Draven.
That's the thing, right? Jackie Love still got what he wanted. Sure, he's losing out farm on the bot side, but Viper doesn't get the farm either as EDG look for the play, but Knight is too mobile right now. They also have more members on the top side of the map who are able to turn more efficiently. They should be waiting for Mako to make his way over, and they just realized they can't look for this. Top Esports have the Herald, they have first move, they can look for this play. Still, they're posturing around, but with the fact that Mako and Viper are making their way down towards the bottom half of the map, I do believe that EDG should just concede and not walk too far forward, because guess what? Jwa's on this half of the map as well.
And Scout spotted out, over with the lens. Scout now moonfalled in, has to flash away. Cast is still dead though for the burst damage of JJ, but Sonic Wave into the resonating strike. A late paranoia. He's into 1v2, even 1v3 with Jwa over the dark passage. Saved the life with a kick, and now it's Mundo. He smashed. Flandre as well. He's grasped up, flushed in, briefcase misses. What meeting call are you on, Ching Tien? Tries to go forward a little bit further. Scout as well has the chase up potential. Goes back to the distortion. And Lyric, this series, man, it just keeps on getting scrappier.
And both teams are just playing on a knife's edge, and you love to see it. I'm actually surprised that Scout and JJ had enough burst to find that initial kill onto Knight, but guess what? They're able to find it in response as we get to see it here. Oh, actually, it was onto Karsa. Scout goes and gets a big chunk down and just follows forward with the Sky Splitter, and yeah, it did a ton of damage. You're going to be able to get this one out. I can understand why EDG looked for this play, counting on Flandre's recall coming through. Really clutch Lantern from Joel to make sure that Knight doesn't go down. I think Ching Tien's going to look for it. He does flash in and miss a Q. Maybe he could have gotten it had it not been for that, but at the end of the day, we get some kills going back and forth. Top Esports pick themselves up their first dragon of the game. Their 1K go in the lead, and Mako and Viper. Ooh, that was close.
I just love teams willing to put the play into action. Lyric, so much has happened with those skirmishes coming through, with us moving away after first turret was taken, after second dragon was taken. I think it's time for you to pause for a second. We're going to fight again, aren't we? Yeah, we are. Jed's here. Jaw's going in. Death Sentence, it connects as well. He's following it. Dark Passage as well. Stormbringer over the wall. Caster again. A two-man moonfall. Jackie Love following it up. He doesn't need mana. He's got Graven. It's right over the wall. Top Esports want to continue the play, and Knight on the back end. Look at where Viper is. He has to disengage, and Top Esports have nailed down yet another play.
And I'm just saying, Sirix, think about the massive cojones that Jackie Love must have to take in that lantern into an enemy volley bear. Sure, you have Knight following up, but you also don't have complete vision of where the members of EDG are, right? So you're taking that lantern into what could be numerous members of the side of EDG. He doesn't care. He goes in. Knight's there to follow up and keep Scout from going in. And then Jackie Love able to pick up another kill, bringing out the Essence Reaver. So going to be able to get some of that mana back, continuously spam his W, keep up that movement speed, keep running forward in fights. Already had the Vampiric Scepter from early on, and we hit on the benefits of an AD carry who can buy lifesteal up against some poking champions. So I think Jackie Love feeling really good right now, especially when he is going to be the big focus of this composition. He is going to be the DPS later on as compared to EDG, who feels like their damage profile is much more varied and will have a lot of ways to get on to Top Esports. The big problem with EDG right now is Top Esports are using tempo so beautifully, right? They push out a lane, they're consistently moving to different areas of the map, overloading and overwhelming EDG to where they're never going to get to have like a 4v4 or a 5v5.
Ooh, nice from Mako. Going to walk back in the end. Further to your point as well, I like that you bring up tempo because it's a discussion with Top Esports that we always bring up, and especially with Jackie Love's Draven being into that same conversation. It's important to note how Top Esports get the last of this remaining plating in 20 seconds. Rather as much as they can at this point. And Jackie Love just walking forward with Draw behind him. Doesn't care about Viper and Mako anymore, as he's got the items, he's got two kills, a bounty on him as well. And Lyric, I think this is another great showing from Top Esports. This is the form that we wanted to see. And running into now more of a mid-game, it's exciting to see when the next fight comes through, because Flandre's on the roam, Knight's pushing out, moving himself. Scout is starting to get this block more active, and even in the laning phase, as Paranoia, that's deep. So deep from Flandre. Sonic Wave not going to connect. Flandre gets out, and no one there to punish.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is, right, the chain not able to stay on Knight. He kicks away and then does the ward hop. So not being able to be locked down means Flandre, if he does go in, is following in a bit too deep. Karsa also would have been there, but Flandre wouldn't have wanted to commit to that play regardless, so TS able to stay in a good position. Sure, they lost an ultimate, but you feel like for the compositions, right, the paranoia is much more paramount and crucial to EDGs than the kick is for Top Esports and Knight.
Where they have so much to play with here. Good lantern again. Casa only needs the one man. Stormbringer won't save him this time, and Jet is down. We call Peter because unfortunately, Bears dying is a bit of a touchy subject. 4 versus 5 now here for Top Esports. A free Herald Lyric with Qingtian able to shove in the top wave.
Yeah, so Top Esports fully exerting control of top side of the map. We see Joel just moving consistently, and that's also why you're going to get so much more from a pick like Thresh in these realms than something like a Karma, where you do bring that pick potential, you do bring the CC to try to lock someone down and enable the rest of your team. As Mako has to be careful. Is Qingtian still up here? They do have vision of him, but another cool aspect that we're not going to see, right, is JackeyLove and Viper being left to their own devices. Viper's still up in farm, but he is not able to walk up to the wave, or JackeyLove will just absolutely massacre him.
You know, Divine Sunder versus the Essence Reaver Vampiric Scepter combo. Sustain on both, but doesn't matter too much. As meanwhile, Caster's able to pick up the Rift Herald. I thought it was potentially stolen, but no dice. Lyric, I know you're oohing at this. Jeje's on the run. He doesn't have flash available though. Wants to get the stun, and the shield gives momentum, but JackeyLove just turns around, spots 3 members, and walks back.
Yeah, so JackeyLove gonna be fine, even gonna go pick himself up a Gromp as a reward from surviving that gank. Good job, JackeyLove. Yeah, no problem, JackeyLove. So, JackeyLove having one of those moments as right now, Top Esports 2K gold in the lead, and this feels just like a time to hit on Top Esports, kind of their journey so far, right? Because they struggled a little bit. They lost to JDG, they lost to RA, but in their last 2 series, they 2-0'd LGD, who are extremely legit right now, and they just picked up a win over RNG. So taking this win against EDG, you just went on a spurt of very hard teams, and this could change your story, but we're get another fight.
Okay, good timing though, Lyric, especially when you're setting them up. They walk into vision. It's around Dragon time that now these teams want to fight. One apiece, but it is a Mountain Soul. Again, Mundo prefers the ocean, but you still love the stats here, even if you
keep your eyes on Knight on the mini-map, Hysterics. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but look at the mini-map right now.
Oh, I see him. It's a Lee Sin behind. Flandre using the ulti. He goes on top of Knight. The Lee Sin means that he's not going to get the full value as Knight's in the middle of the pit. Knight looking to get out here for now, but the kick, it wasn't blocked. It was a flash over the wall. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. The Scout's following up. He should have him kick now used on top of Scout as he gets the electrocute down. Knight's buying time though, buying space. He heals up. Scout hasn't killed him. He has to go back to the distortion as he safeguards away. He's away. Now for JJ, he doesn't get the steal, and Knight survives somehow.
He just completely pulled them around the map, right? EDG are like, okay, we divert resources to bot first, we take down Knight, and Top Esports like, cool, Knight's probably gonna die, we're just gonna take this free dragon, and then the man gets out with his life. They also get the turret off of that. TES just completely punishing that play from EDG, and man, that was nice from Top Esports, but that was heartbreaking for EDG.
It really was. I would have loved to see the steal from JJ at least equalize what you've just watched and maybe make things a little bit more interesting, but once again, Knight survives here. Gourd Drinker coming in clutch on top of that as well, and Top Esports up ahead by about 3,000 gold, almost at 18 minutes in the game. They now build up the Mountain Soul, and they build themselves into this strong mid-game where, you know, Lyric, again, just quickly talking about comps, I think it's important as EDG to try and look for picks. When they have Karma, LeBlanc, Nocturne, you can see that condition is still there. They want to isolate members like Qingtian, but Mundo, there's no grievous wounds from these 2 people especially, so he'll be fine. But again, the isolation here, LeBlanc, Nocturne, and it feels like EDG just can't get their soul targets.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Top Esports haven't been isolated, and I even think, as I'm going to pause, since Top Esports, they don't have a wave. I don't think they should be able to do anything here. Flandre already making this well.
Doesn't matter. JackeyLove comes in over the Dark Passage, and Caster's on the wing as well. Flandre gets kicked out. Death sentence as he walks back in. And Top Esports lock down another. Good true shot barrage. Does quite a lot to draw and Knight to send him out of the fight. But JackeyLove has so much lifesteal, and so it's no problem. Another good pick from Top Esports, who are making the picks themselves against the Nocturne, against teams that have the LeBlanc.
And that's something I want to talk about EDG's comp overall, right? When you're behind, when your team's behind and you're on Karma, it feels so worthless, right? Because the whole point of your champion is to enable teammates, to bring your utility, to prop up already strong teammates, and pretty much nullify the game from the enemy perspective. But when your teammates are weaker than the enemy, you actually really don't bring anything. Like, you throw a shield on, you still don't win out in the 1v1s or 2v2s. You don't have the same amount of priority to look for picks as an engaged support, and it just feels very underwhelming overall. So not really a problem with Mako, but a problem with how far EDG have started to fall behind, because we're almost at a 4K gold lead for top esports. They definitely went out in 5v5s right now. Even if someone like Flandre or Scout finds their way onto JackieLove, I feel like JackieLove is safe and strong enough to where TV is actually able to survive.
It's like they knew. They knew 100% as the control ward went down. Draw already put a hook out. And they just knew as Caster knows the same. Viper caught out over the wall. That ward was super cheeky as JackieLove. You talk about jumping on the back line. He's at half health, but the Whirling Death flies through. Scouts out. True Shot Barrage doesn't connect, but Caster is dead. Knight running for his life as JJ wants to follow through. The chains from Flandre do not incur the fear. But EDG, Barrett has just spawned, and they've got the jungler dead.
I was going to say, I can understand the angle that Carson was looking for. Did kind of just run it down a little bit. Went in by himself. No way for his bot lane to follow up on that play. EDG need to be careful. They're getting chunked incredibly low. Does look like cooler heads will prevail, and they'll back off. But cooler heads won't prevail for top esports.
No.
Who still want to try to... Yeah, they want to pressure for this. JackieLove's not here yet, though.
I mean, they're trying to buy time. Qingtian trying to be the fridge here, but looks more like a fridge magnet. Trying to get not CC, but he will die. Stormbringer for JackieLove on top of his head, but Knight into the back line. He's taking everyone. JJ gets kicked. JackieLove cleans up. Viper now dealing with the sediment, but JackieLove's over the wall. I've said it before, Lyric, but it's adoration time for this Draven.
And it's all about Knight finding the picks, right? That looks so doomed for the side of top esports. I can't believe they were going in that moment. Even Qingtian going down so early, but Knight finds a hero play. Scout, though, gonna look for one of his own.
And he will die if he goes back in. That little Q, that auto attack, from JackieLove hits him, and his HP bar goes down. Whirling Death, away you go. Baron picked up. Caster gets it now that he's alive, and Knight still wants to kill Scout in the mid lane. And top esports, Lyric, how did they win that fight? It's like talking about top esports of old.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see that replay. Thanks, observers. We get to go into it right now. They go in again. This looks very grim for them. Sure, you're missing some key abilities on the side of EDG, but you're just running in face first without JackieLove even here. You have to put out damage. Qingtian taken out very early on. I want to keep my eyes on Knight, though, because he finds his way into the back line. Just a really nice sonic wave on Flandre. Puts him in a position where he's behind the other members of EDG. Gets on top of Mako as well. And especially once Volibear goes down, right? There is no front line for this side of EDG. And in terms of gold item stats, oh god, we have another fight.
Oh my god, here we go. Box laid bare, though. I think this is important to note that Draw has set the boundary, but Qingtian, again, taking a lot of damage here. Not sure about the Grievous Wounds, but doesn't matter. JackieLove gonna get stunned up. There's the shield coming through, though. Scout and Jedge onto the backline. They got him. Draven's dead. Caster's ulti does nothing. He's trying to clean up Viper, but Viper's in Ezreal. Divine Sunder doing work until he runs into the rest of the team. Qingtian will help take him down as Knight into the backline once again. Stunned up in a moment, and as he gets flocked through, he kicks away part of the damage, trying to survive, but this time around, EDG have picked them apart. Knight somehow still alive while Caster's jumping back in. How the hell does Lee Sin have so much healing? Won't matter in the end, Lyric, because EDG are back.
And the thing is, they found the critical pick onto JackieLove. The stun came out, JJ able to go in, follow forward, and get the kill. Then, for some reason, Knight's still thinking, hey, they're low enough, I want to go and try and find the picks. He especially saw Mako right in front of him, who was missing some health, thinking, hey, I go into the Sonic Wave, the E, the ultimate's there, I burst him out, maybe I can get away clean after that. As we thankfully get a replay of how it all started, because we didn't get to see this, as top esports doing two things at once, right? One of your members, three things at once. One member of the Dragon, the other three contesting and looking for picks and vision. Look at the minimap. Knight is still on top side, nowhere close. Scout finding a massive angle that Sadly, Top Esports pretty much escaped them, locks him down, JJ gets in, they find that initial pick, and from here, you just don't have the damage. Karsa finds his way in onto the backside of the fight. We are going to see some value coming out from the Karma, and that one puts down the shield. Karsa already using the ultimate, not a lot of damage available, and this is what we talked about Knight. It looks like he was hoping maybe he gets on top of Mako, can kick him into the team, and you can set something up where you find 1 or 2 kills and can get out scot-free, but that didn't happen. Going back to the core problem though, Knight was topside with no TP, your jungler's doing Dragon, 3 of you are looking for vision or picks or red buff in the enemy jungle. It's just too much, you're spreading yourself too thin, and it allowed EDG to punish.
It really did, and now with the Baron buff only having 145 gold out of a play, it's absolutely huge. Qingtian going to get locked down here. Remember, this is a Morellonomicon from Scout, so they're going to dive this. Qingtian not as tanky as you'd think. JJ's coming around the wing as well. Look at where Top Esports are. Their top laner is going to die, and there's nothing they can do about it. And TES just misstepping here and there. EDG are always going to be the team to punish.
And I'm just kind of confused, I guess, at what Top Esports are looking for, right? You have 4 members of them in the top side jungle. Looks like they're pushing out, trying to make their way up. JackieLove was taking his red buff, and then Qingtian walking into bottom side river, not quite sure what they're looking for. No vision down, you have no idea where anyone is, just ends up getting punished still. Top Esports aren't in a bad place just yet. They are still up 4K gold. They do still have an extremely strong composition, but we saw from the last fight how it works out. If you can get in, burst down JackieLove, it's going to feel extremely good for EDG in any fight that they take. They have the paranoia, they have the way of getting onto JackieLove. The big thing for EDG is, can they get a dive buddy in there with him who can follow up the burst or lock him down?
Curious to see Flandre JJ there as well, right? I mean, I think importantly, Scout's LeBlanc. You talk about those dive buddies coming through. If Scout is one of them, he has a 12-stack Magi, 2 items. We saw onto Qingtian. He takes down the Mundo quite fast, and I'm curious to see how fast he can take down JackieLove, as we have to temper our expectations of this game now a little bit more after the fights we've seen, and especially since Baron's coming up in a minute 30. And for both these teams, one pick could lead to the objective, push it further, and the game changes states once again, Lyric. Let's start talking about items here, because before this Baron, I think it's important to note that JackieLove is 3.5 items strong. Not sure if he will get that 4th item locked down. 3rd item though for Knight, Sterix Gauge might be there with the Phage already complete.
Yeah, and you know, that's the thing, right? We've seen stock and standard items come out from both sides, but if Chunking coming out to JackieLove, he's going to run to Wolves, he'll back up in 2 seconds. Scout though, between 2 members.
Super deep, but rare. Here's the dive, buddy. Maybe you're not even diving, you're just looking for Knight to kick away. JJ actually helps find the target, the true shot barrage as well. Great damage, Flandre down the middle of it, but for EDG, they turn their sights over to Qingtian, who once again, Mundo walked this way. Was not a good play, Lyric. 3 versus 5, and Baron's up in 30 seconds.
And this is what we needed to see from EDG in game 1, right? You hit on it earlier, it's all about isolated targets, but it's about being the ones to look for that, being the ones to set it up. We didn't see EDG walking into the enemy jungle with their pryos in game 1. This time around, they're doing that, and then hey, in that play, even I was bamboozled. It looks like that Scout is in between 2 members of Top Esports, but guess what? JJ's on his way, and not only that, you have the paranoia in the mid lane, very easily able to follow up, as EDG are going to look for more.
All right, the 3 members of Top Esports are still alive, trying to bring it back, and they got Mako. Viper has to get away as well, burning double summoners. What? Scout can't get in, TP used onto Flandre. Knight doesn't get the Sonic Wave, but the kick flash is flashed in response. Flandre will get away. And Lyric, they're TPing in. Scout's on the back, but Baron is there. Top Esports want to start threatening. A Scout into the middle.
JackieLove incredibly low.
True shot barrage as well. Look at the healing. He needs to dodge away from the Mystic shots as Flandre once again with the ulti. JackieLove groups on up. 5 versus 2 around the side. Scout on the wing again onto Dwarf. Better damage with the Sigil. And back to the Baron it is. Healing up is JackieLove, remember. Look at it. With the Bloodthirster, this man is topped up once again. Scout over the wing. Dwarf flashes away. Caster, 3-man ulti. And JackieLove free hitting. But in the back line, JJ swords him down. He flashes away. Knight's done it again. Scout needs to get a kill, but kicked away. Save the president. JJ assassinates him, but you know that he'll be caught out in the end. And Top Esports, they've won another fight.
And I can't believe that Top Esports are just turning right back to the Baron. Scout needs to recall, does have TP available though. Oh,
Sonic
Mako?
Wave. Sonic Wave from Knight was so close. He's teleporting back in, Lyric. I'm not sure if Top Esports can keep doing the Baron. Mako gonna chain down Knight. Another Sonic Wave comes through. Scout helping out his support, but he jumps back on in. Shirelius gives movement speed. They're committing to the Baron here. Karsa and Qingtian not taking too much damage. Scout wants to steal it away, but he's backing away. This is gonna be Baron secured while he tries to help the support in the pocket of Top Esports. Sonic Wave not connecting again. Knight running away, Lyric. A chain, but another Sonic Wave, another Q at the ready, and Scout just tries to slow momentum.
How do Top Esports keep getting away with things like this? That fight was so close. Top Esports did win out, but JackeyLove went down. I thought there was no way they'd be able to do the Baron, but Knight was being such a distraction in Mako's face the whole time. Then Scout's like, well, what do I do? Do I commit to killing Knight, or do I try to stop this Baron? Not able to do it. Still, EDG answering Dragon on the opposite side. This will put them on soul point, so EDG by no means out of this game just yet. But now, with all the pushing power that Top Esports have, it will be hard as we go into the replay. Jawal getting hit by the chain, getting locked down. A little bit surprised he flashed away, but Karsa set up with a good angle to find the engage. Top Esports do turn. Then JackeyLove buys a lot of time, does have the flash available. We saw him flash some of the initial damage. Still, JJ able to take him down. And then Knight, I think critically, pushing away LeBlanc on the opposite side was doing so much.
He saved the president up until that final shot from JJ. Baron still goes down.
The problem is Hysterics. Top Esports have so many presidents. Everyone's a president on Top Esports. It doesn't matter if Knight is on Lee Sin or Karsa's on Diana. These aren't like champions like Draven that can just take over. These guys are so good they can just take over on anything.
That's right. I mean, the skill of Top Esports, right? They had a couple of throwing moments. Let's be real, ladies and gentlemen. Top Esports almost threw this away, but back in charge now with the second Baron of the game. And JackeyLove pushing down these turrets is going to be quick. Scout, though, is the person we need to keep watching, though, Lyric, because that's a 22-stack Magi's, 508 LeBlanc. JackeyLove, even with his items, will still be destroyed in an instant. And Scout is trying to bring this to a game 3, and so is Flandre. Onto JackeyLove, he's isolated. This is what I'm talking about. If he's left alone, it's even easier.
And it's one of those things, right? The overstay coming out, the recalls didn't come out soon enough for Karsa and JackeyLove gets punished. The dive buddy system that you just hit on, the paranoia just makes it so easy. And now EDG are going to get so much from this. They're going to get mid turret, they should get top turret. They might even be able to push for a mid tier 2. Okay. They do have to worry about Baron minions, but they're definitely not afraid of any fight coming out from the side of TES.
25 stacks now, by the way, onto Scout here. Full stacks of Magi's. This LeBlanc, I'm looking at the AP, 431. And you only have 4 items. One more to go here as well. The Scout's going deep. The rest of Top Esports very aware of where he is. Go cautiously as a group, and things slow down for a second, but JackeyLove getting caught out. It steals the momentum, and Lyric, just like the first Baron, this one is a negative power play. 337 in the minus.
And the thing is, it's not going to get easier for TES because more damage is going to be built on people like Scout. They're going to be able to get in there and one-shot JackeyLove, as we saw. Flandre's going to have more damage, and he's also going to be tankier, so potentially if he goes in, he won't be taken down. And then members like Viper will be able to deal with the rest of your composition with the mobility coming out, with the shield coming out from Karma. And we were hitting on earlier about Karma feeling useless when your teammates are behind, but now we're back into a game where EDG are even. They're only 3k gold behind. Doesn't really feel that relevant at this point in the game. Items are pretty much even on both sides. And now we're going to be looking for the next dragon to be the big pivotal point. As Scout, though, might find JackeyLove.
Yeah, he's in front of the charge now, but Qingtian moving down is a good play. He'll lose himself, the passive, as he picks it back up again. And goes where he pleases, gives him a bit more HP. He's got 3.5 items strong. He's tanked up quite a bit, but you look at this. Scout able to get rid of Banshee's Veil. Things like that to stop the LeBlanc. Scout fears no one at the moment, especially not when they're isolated. So grouping up as a 5-man unit with Flandre and Paranoia plus Flash moving towards bottom lane. And look at EDG's top wave as well, as this dragon is getting closer and closer, Lyric. The map state is favored for them, able to give them deep vision, able to give them control over both sides of the river.
Exactly. It gives no entry point for Top Esports, right? You can't walk through bottom side and try to enter through that corridor. You can't contest over mid because of all the poke coming out from Viper. Top Esports is going to try and fight for right now by threatening the engage that we see. Chua and Qingtian both walking forward.
Qingtian fine though for the time being. Again, Mundo with the Spirit Vistage. They're trying to run into Scout. JackeyLove still confident here on his 4-item Draven. They now get priority in the river after they group up. Flandre as well backs off a little bit. Scout has TP, don't worry about him backing, but Viper backing for the time being. 45 seconds until Dragon spawns. Keep an eye on the timers and just notice Jackie Love.
Scout TP.
Yeah, he's doing 1100 damage and you
Top Esports saw it though.
Okay. So full information, they continue to group up. Scout's gonna wait there for now. Again, timer 30 seconds in this game 2 of Match of the Week. Top Esports, it doesn't feel like a clear favorite anymore. We've seen how they've been called out. We see how EDG's comp works with the dive buddies. And we're gonna be looking out for them.
Yeah, and a key thing for JackieLove, he does have both Flash and Heal available. Gonna have to be able to utilize those efficiently to avoid that burst coming out. Can Jwal keep JackieLove safe? That's the question. Can Flandre and Scout find their way onto the Draven to take him down?
And Knight's always been keeping space between Scout and the AD carry. JackieLove now going to take a Dark Passage. Scout's running forward. Flandre jumps in onto Caster instead. Top Esports have created space as Knight is dealing with Flandre. But the whirling death sends them all backwards. The Moonfall on top of Scout matters as Knight gets the kick backwards and Scout's gone. But guys, down the train. There you go, the Mountain Dragon yours, and Top Esports do it once more.
And Knight is always the man you can count on in situations like this. Goes through the flank, knows exactly what Scout is going to be looking for. They find the burst, they get the Drake, and now you know Top Esports are going to be looking at that Baron.
It's going to be a hard Baron because Scout was one to deter. It's up to Viper here for damage. Remember, Viper's have been talked about because of how well Scout's been doing, but it's still an Ezreal with 3.5 items and Executioner's Calling to whip through the front line. Back being taken here, Lyric. Viper running in, Baron going down low, TP on the backside, and Baron is gone. Draw flashes forward, Mako has to match. Knight wants a Sonic Wave as well, but it's just Baron. Baron number 3 for Top Esports in Game 2.
I really like the way that Top Esports held onto that TP and started doing it once EDG started funneling in and trying to exert their pressure on the situation. Because you bring out the TP, you make it so EDG know, okay, we can't fight. Knight has this angle from the side. We just need to back off. It takes away the volatility of the situation and also guarantees you the Baron coming out. So now we're going to get back to, normal map state, probably going to be a 1-4 coming in for Top Esports at first, as we're going to go straight into the replay. And just keep your eyes on Knight. He's on one side, right around Scout, kind of zoning him out. We see Flandre going onto Karsa. He's able to get away with that Rocket Bell. Then it's all going to be about that top side. Jwal hitting a key hook at first, forcing Scout to flash up, which brings him the Knight. So Jwal not getting the due respect the first time in the play, but this time around, definitely massive props to Jwal for setting that all up, linking up, and giving Knight that angle.
Completely missed that hook. The second one as well was almost as impressive. Scout actually flashed to that position. He backed off to that position a little bit later than Jwal's hook, but EDG are not done yet. Even with Baron buff, TP coming through, Top Esports want to start it up. That's Qingtian, the frontline fridge. And Scout now off to the wing. 15 stacks of the Jais, but he still hits hard. And Top Esports with the Baron, they want to push directly down mid. They don't care about sides. They're pulling tempo.
Key thing is, though, this time JackieLove does not have Flash. He's in a lot more threat than he was before. But Top Esports are changing very well. Knight is holding off the flank.
And he's followed through with the Sonic Wave as well. Qingtian running frontline. JackieLove still in the backline. Fine for now. The hook max range. Even beyond. Bit of scripting here from
Is that gonna solo kill?
Knight's going to look for Scout. The chain will connect, but Sonic Wave dodged away from Lee Sin versus LeBlanc, who takes the L on the champion that starts with it. Top Esports still with Baron. Want to push in here, Lyric, and JackieLove going to help take down the turret.
And we're going to see Knight's going to keep buying time and preventing Scout from recalling. Scout is the big member on the side of EDG who you need to take down Raven.
Scout's got him, though. Scout's got him. That's big.
Scout's got him.
For Top Esports, the game may not end here with the push through. Scout can back away. He has TP. And the engage comes through from Flandre. Dwarves down next. Flashes outside of the box. Karma Mantra E as well. And here comes Scout. Qingtian has to flash over the wall. This LeBlanc distorts over once. She's going to have another. Top Esports running for their lives. Jeje trying to slow on down. You know the Top Esports can't make their way out of this. Caster burst down. JackieLove at full HP, but he's scared. And EDG want the burst. They need to kill them to bring this game back. Flandre even TP to the top side, Lyric, and they're all in. Caster jumps back on, but he's low. He misses there from Flandre. JackieLove taking him down. The Draven and the Diana, they do it. JackieLove blocked down though into GA. Caster poked down by Viper. Ulti at melee range. Quadra kill for the Ezreal in the end. It all goes well for EDG.
And Scout opened that play up by finding the solo kill on Tonight, right? EDG realized, hey, we're in a great position. Scout is going to come back to base. We look for the engage now. TP's into the side. And then top Esports were just in such a bad predicament. They tried to be cheeky. They tried to play around it, have Xingtian tank some of the hits coming out. They were able to find Flandre, but it wasn't enough. EDG just overwhelmed them.
We get a triple in the end to correct myself as well instead of the Quadra. Ace. Full blown. And, well, Lyric, 45 seconds till Mountain Soul. Jesus Christ. This series, it may be a 2-0, it may be 2-1, doesn't matter. Not making it to the end because they're both delivered. We have 39 kills in 40 minutes. Only this region could deliver like it. And for EDG getting priority in Scuttle.
I didn't know that the LPL final came in July.
True.
Did you?
It's like Christmas in July. Night, they know he's there. Sky Splitter, draw over the wall just in case. And it really does feel like Christmas, doesn't it? Death Sentence. Max range onto Mako. Mako's going to go down. Dwall. He's
nice
fresh.
one.
Sets it up. The Moonfall doesn't work out though, and Viper's still alive. Flandre into the backline. But Jaculov's hitting so damn hard. Flandre goes gold. Now they want to think about Viper, think about Scout. Dwall is insane on this Thresh.
Draw's an absolute monster, but still, Scout also able to take down Knight on the opposite side of the fight, so this isn't a clear fight by any means. Sure, Top Esports have numbers advantage, but they need to be wary of Scout, but they get it. Jackie Love gets Mountain Soul for Top Esports.
There we go. Hits it down with an auto. Scout comes in, and he gets blessed with an axe to the face on his exit. Mountain Soul here for Top Esports. And we're going to have Baron number 4 Lyric in 55 seconds as we look at this hook again.
I mean, Joao has been on an absolute tear this time around. Knight also being the one to go in onto Viper isn't able to. They peel him off, but still Joao setting up the rest of the fight to where they're able to take some of these kills. And then Jackie Love so clean with that ultimate. Flandre, I think, coming in a little bit too late, a little bit questionable on the timing of that one. Maybe not ranged to come in any sooner, but instantly getting taken down, and now with 3 mountains with the shield, this man is definitely gonna go wherever the hell he pleases.
Yeah, he is. Almost full build as well, but double control ward. I love this from Top Esports. I mean, I love it from
276 armor hysterics, 276, 240 MR.
That's a lot.
He is an absolute terror.
He's a big unit, right? And even the people that aren't those fresh tanks, like Casa, like Knight, they're still going to benefit off the fact, and especially Casa, when he gets the Banshee's Veil, when he's got the Zhonya stopwatch. Let me try again. Zhonya's and Banshee are going to give him a crap load of stats. How's that, folks? No time for tongue twisters here. As Scout onto Jaculov. He walks forward. Now, Jaculov will always do this, so he needs to go back, heal up. He should be fine, but you shouldn't run into Scout with 25 stacks of Magi's once again.
I mean, that's the thing, right? When you have so much burst in both comps, there's always going to be angles, always going to be windows for the opposite team to find a pick, to find an opportunity to take a fight. EDG have vision control right now, so they should have an opportunity to punish Top Esports walking in blind. Xingtian, though, such a massive meat shield, is going to be able to force them out.
Very important business call once again, but this time it's to the President of the United States. And the President is Jaculov. Keep him alive. The damage comes through. The security guard goes in first onto Baron. That's Flandre's ulti, though. Into the backline. Jeje walks in too. It's Xingtian who's going face first, but remember, it is Mundo. Doesn't care for now as Scout's toppling him down. He needs to heal up, though. I don't think he has a Warmogs, so it's going to take some time. I'm wrong. He definitely has Warmogs.
I was going to say, he's getting there pretty fast. And, you know, the big thing is, Scout still looks for it. Neither of these teams feel comfortable pushing out sides because they're afraid the enemy team will just say, screw it, I don't care about side pressure. Group and find the game-winning fight. At 43 minutes, one fight and you win the game.
Flandre with his ulti not up and available. Scout over the wall again onto Xingtian, not healing up slowly. Cast goes in with the engage. Onto the backline, Knight tries to do the same. Exhausted out. Jaculov still full HP, but so is Viper. This continues to be the best first date we've ever had as Top Esports return to the Baron. A back hit on the back end means a TP into the fray from Scout. Death Sentence, True Shot Barrage, it's gone. Baron secured. Knight on top of Mako, who gets low, but Scout, double distortion in, but he's kicked away. He can't get any kills, and healing up is Jackie-Love. Caster survives as well. Frontlining is Jackie-Love too. He survives once more as Viper's trying, but the Death Sentence from Draw. Fantastic. Backline again. Caster's just done it. Jackie-Love will clean it up, and Lyric, ring the goddamn bell. This series might just be over as Viper's trying. Never mind. Gets the GA out and EDG on the wrong side of Summoner's Rift. But Qingtian chasing him down. Viper trying his hardest to carry this. And I feel like
Hysterics, they can't get him.
He's so wily. He's trying to back over the wall. Qingtian's there, waiting for the E to come through, but Jackie-Love is going to match him in a second. Runs on over. Here's everyone. Viper's dead. And Lyric, maybe the game's not over.
There's no way. I mean, that was so spectacular to see Top Esports in that team fight. The way they were maneuvering around Karsa fighting the angle. This is quite a camera angle. Yeah, Draven and Mundo, but point is, Viper bought enough time to where maybe they did it, but they're still going to have a numbers advantage. Knight's about to be up. They have TP. They can still look for it.
I love that in a 45-minute game that has had itself 47 kills, we still get time to show Qingtian walking down the mid lane as Top Esports trying to end Flandre into the back line. This is the last stand for EDG, but Scout is taken down. They've done it again. Flandre against the fridge, no longer a magnet. This guy is packing a freezer as well. You get that double in there and you've got your value. Qingtian sends him his business files. Call me in the mail, brother. We're about to give you our first loss.
The thing is, Viper's about to be up, but oh, Top Esports are too strong.
It doesn't matter. JJ now on there as well. Nexus turret's taken down. EDG no longer undefeated because Top Esports are going to the top.
That is so insane. Not only did EDG take their first game loss since losing to BLG, they got 2-0'd by Top Esports in an incredible fashion. Those games overall, absolute bangers. If you missed out on game one or any part of game two, go back and rewatch. Amazing to see from TES, and just like mechanical highlights all over the place. Great team fighting displayed by TES. Had some bad moments, had some good moments, had a lot of... Man, I'm just so overwhelmed. We had so many outplays on both sides. There were so many moments where it looked like EDG pulled it back, but in the end, Top Esports protected Jackie-Love. They found the big plays, especially Draw on this Thresh. If that man's not the MVP, I don't know who is. And man, it just feels a great day for all of our Top Esports fans out there. And look at those smiles.
All over their face. I mean, after a series like this, how could you not? Top Esports, not only did they take the first game off of EDG, they took the first series. EDG had been 2-0ing left and right, not even to pick up a game within what was a very close series. Game one, sure, was a smack, but game two, I don't know how I'm going to do Suiting RNG Lyric because that felt like a best of 5. Christmas definitely came early in the LPL. A match of the week that delivered easily.
Yeah.
It's tea time.
And it's definitely going to be hard for Suiting and RNG to follow this one up, but man, I don't even know how you break this game down, because we got to a point in the game where both teams realized, like, hey, you know, maybe I have a side lane pressure in this matchup where I can do this, or this, but I think both of them realize if I do that, and sure, maybe I go get a tower on the opposite side or something, but if the enemy team just says, screw that tower, I'm going to group up with my team, and they just force a team fight, it's just over. So we got to a point where it's just pretty much constant posturing and constant team fighting. Yep. And then in the end, EDG weren't able to string it together, especially Draw's hooks really feel like the thing that cemented this game for TS, because anytime both teams were just in front of each other, Draw's hitting a hook, he's opening up an angle for Knight to go and chunk someone low, and then that is that. TS would be able to take the fight.
I mean, it's just so close back and forth. I want to give props to EDG overall and say that I just love that even though this team didn't win the series and they didn't win a game, in this second game, Flandre never afraid to pull the trigger off of cooldown. Scout as well. His potency on this LeBlanc was shown, very true. And Viper was just always that constant achiever who was a threat in these fights. And Qingtian always poked down by the Ezreal, because we saw in the laning phase, the early laning phase of Ezreal Karma was set up quite nicely. There was an all-in and level 2 hit first. JackieLove's Draven didn't just smash down lanes as we always see with Draven. Viper and Mako once again showed that they are a strong 2v2 lane, but not as strong as JackieLove when he gets those adoration stacks and he starts rolling into the game and cleans up, even in the late game, a composition that has the volley bear, but where else is the tank that's going to stop him? 82K?
I love that you talk about... I mean, right, it's a long game. You're an Ezreal. There's actually not a lot of engage on top esports side. You only have to worry about the death sentence. So I think not too surprising from Viper. Still a good performance from Viper overall. I don't want to discount that, but I like that you hit on the early game, and I want to go back to that for a second because, right, we're kind of devolving this game into just a series of chaotic skirmishes later on, but we need to remember the early game that came out was top esports doing a much better job of transferring pressure than EDG did. They found numerous ganks into bot lane. They started getting Draven those adoration stacks, and they were invading the enemy jungle looking to punish EDG. Sure, there were some moments like where they tried to do Dragon, invade the enemy jungle, and push top all at the same time without TP, and they got punished. But overall, I think the first 15 minutes from top esports was extremely good.
It really was. I think, you know, in both games, we saw the same thing. Casa on this Diana needs to be called out here. That is a pick that they can't give over to Casa at the moment. It was so good at controlling the game, and, you know, once it hit 6 as well, even early, hit JackieLove's lane at level 3, put pressure onto Viper and Mako for what it's worth. But it's just a pick that we can't see go through. I think there's a couple of those on the side of top esports. Knight on Lee Sin. He might not get MVP because you're right, Draw deserves it, but Knight's Lee Sin kicks again, just great. Just so great.
You know the craziest part? This was the first time he's pulled out an LPL this split. This was the first time.
First time Lee Sin. I gotta find out if it's his first time in his career, Lyric, because I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't either, right? Especially with, you know, when Knight came in and when Lee Sin's been meta. But point is, I wonder if it's something they've been saving for a team like EDG of like, hey, this is a secret weapon that we only save for the best of the best. We saw it here today. And yeah, I don't actually think we saw too much worse from EDG, especially in game 2, but we're hearing in our ears, JackieLove, surprisingly the MVP. I do feel like a bit offended for Joao, but JackieLove had an exceptional game. Even just him bringing out the Draven is always fun to see. I remember it was something I begged for last year. I had notes prepared for weeks and he never gave it to us, so the fact that we get it right now is always great. And remember the part, it was this play where we talked about, you know, the confidence, the cojones of JackieLove going in on that lantern, not knowing where the enemy team is. So I love the confidence that this guy exudes when he brings out a champion like this.
Lyric, you know, when I feel like someone's robbed, I'll say it. JackieLove had a great game. Let's be real, JackieLove had a great series here. But if I gave you, without, you know, if I gave you this card, right? It's just driver's license, we can't see the front. If you took that off me by force, what would it be? What would it be? It'd be a robbery. I don't know why that took you so long. It's a robbery. Draw should have been MVP. You're as good as your support as well. I did show the back of those, but if you do get digits out of that, or you know where I am, well, do a mundo for me.
You know what, the game? You know, Hysterics, who do you think we're going to interview? What's your guess?
It's going to be with Dwarf. Oh, it's Casa. Okay, we got a Casa interview, folks. Remember, all at Shanghai today, so we get interviews for each series. Second interview coming right up with Wendy and Casa.
Hello everyone, welcome to the interview, and now I'm standing by with Casa after getting a 2-0 victory against Ever Gaming. So congratulations on this win, and also for against your very strong opponents. What do you think is the key for getting this win? And today you got your first MVP for the split, so how do you feel at this moment? 那首先恭喜你们今天很漂亮2-0赢下了很强的劲敌 EDG 嘛。那你觉得在今天能够很干净利落战胜他们的最重要的一点是什么呢？而且今天我们的卡萨选手也拿到了赛季的第1个 MVP， 所以现在感觉怎么样呢？
我觉得战胜 EDG 关键应该是我们就打 EDG 的时候做了很多功课吧，就我们整个队伍包括教练组，我们都是讨论 BP， 其实讨论的非常多。然后我觉得今天的最大关键，因为我觉得2支队伍的实力可能就是相差的没有那么大吧，就是我们两边都挺厉害的。然后我觉得我们今天做的最好的就是我们的 BP， 感觉我们是选到我们最理想的阵容，然后也压制了对面的阵容。
I feels like in terms of the key point for today's best of 3 is we really prepared a lot for today's game, especially we studied a lot for in the ban pick strategy in order to target on the opponent's team, because I think in terms for the mechanics or the abilities, the two teams are very similar. So I don't think we have a huge difference with Edward Gaming. So we try to focus more on the ban pick phase, and luckily in today's best of 3 we just had our ideal ban pick strategy, our ideal composition for today's game. That's the key point for us in order to have a very smooth best of 3 for this game. And definitely you guys have shown a super good performance. So let's talk a bit more about the game 1. With game 1, you got that Diana, and after reach the level 6, you just gank a lot in different lanes and try to open the whole situation for the teammates. And after that, you have dealt the highest amount of damage among all the members. So could you know more about your early game tactic in order to help the team? 那说到第一局，我们卡萨的 MVP 表现的一个皎月嘛，也是在到达6级之后，就很快的去进行各路的一个 gank 啊游走，然后帮助队伍来打开局面。而且你也是在所有全场的10个人当中打出了最高的一个伤害。所以说想问一下，你可能前期利用皎月的一个思路是怎么样的呢？
因为皎月这英雄就是前面期就是一直刷嘛，然后刷着刷着6级后就开始游戏了。然后青天在上路也是前面被给了很多压力嘛，因为对面上野组合前面确实是最厉害的一组。然后6级后就想办法，就6级后我发育出来了，就好想办法帮他吧。
So I think from the start of the game with that Diana, I just do all the farmings, and after I reached the level 6, the real game got started. And then I just helped Qingtian, our top laner, a lot, because the opponent's team, they have chosen a very strong top and jungler composition. So I tried to help the Qingtian from that top lane, we were able to have a very smooth game and open the whole situation for ourselves. And also in game 2, the game 2 is super seesaw back and forth, and it's a very intense game. So, but before the interview, you have told me that you always hold the confidence that you were able to get the win for game 2. So, but I'm very curious what went wrong from Top Esports maybe in the mid game, because it seems like Edward Gaming, they have somehow controlled the whole game in the mid game. 那说到第2局也是非常非常精彩，有来有回的一局。但是其实我们在采访前，卡萨有说，第2局其实一直都觉得能赢，但是我们感觉好像中期 EDG 有一度把局势打回来，所以说我们也比较好奇，可能你觉得在中期我们滔博可能哪一些地方会有一些小小的失误呢？
就我们吃完第1条大龙，那个红 buff 那边被打了个，就是我们5个都死了嘛，就那波是个转折吧，就不然那波感觉如果我们有就掌握好自己的节奏的话，应该能快速结束比赛。
It feels like after we have gotten that first Baron, we got aced around the Dragon Pit. I think that's a very huge mistake from ourselves. Without that, maybe we can have a more smooth game for game 2. But luckily, it was ended up with a win from you guys. And I want to talk a bit more about the last Baron, because for this game, we got 4 Barons. But around the last Baron, the gorgeous, perfect team fights from you guys were able to just close up the game. So what happened there? Could you share more about that scene? 那其实说到第2局的话，一共出现了4次大龙，你们都拿掉了嘛？然后呢，最后是第4条大龙的时候，在那里的你们非常漂亮的团战，然后让你们能够最后一波结束比赛。所以说当时是发生了什么呢？和我们分享一下吗？
主要就是卓哥，就是我们每个人都打得挺好吧，然后特别是小卓就随时的 Q 有找到比较多机会嘛，然后就也好多波是勾到对面的 carry 位，然后感觉大家都打得不错吧。
I must say, at that team fight, all the 5 of us, we played quite well, and I really would like to praise Zhuo, because with that thresh, he was always able to have a very good angle on the opponent's carries and hook the opponents. So with that, we were able to just end it up with a very clean team fight. And congratulations again, 最后再次的恭喜你们。And back to you guys. Bye bye.